to do some scans. Good morning. We're going to turn on our Do Not Disturb. Just be aware I may have to stop this and I may go silent for a little while. I've got a dog who is a little sick. A little kind of not up to being here in the morning. Palantir, Shopify. We're going to go over to brokerage holdings. And I'm starting a little late and I got to get off early, so expect a little bit of the unexpected this morning. And I've got to go over to YouTube and monetize this. .com. Let's see. YouTube Studio. Content. I did a bonus podcast on Saturday to get the word out about the Trend Spider and a special offer on Alpha Alpha Picks. Let's see. Okay. Shut that down. We'll go back over here. Good morning, Chase, Joe, Mike, Mohammed, Chris, Scott, Uber, Wells Fargo. That is one that I own. Let's go over to Bitcoin. Did stuff get the cross up? ETH, Bitcoin, and crypto. ETHE, BITW. Covered call ETFs. There's usually one, but there's not one today. Energy names. CHWY is going crazy. Who's that, Penny? Daisy, you're a good girl. Leveraged ETFs, BAR, SDS, HIBL. We're gonna go to Morningstar. Thanks, Christian. I got a ton of emails this weekend. It was nice. About how people like the stuff that I do. Okay, why I'm not getting commercials, I don't know. Everybody should be able to watch a commercial before they start watching me so that Daddy gets paid. Daddy needs to get paid. Low cost ETFs. VXUS, VSS. Yeah, I was telling somebody wrote me an email that they were getting married with that they were getting married and they couldn't afford TrendSpider right now. And I said, don't get TrendSpider. Focus on the wedding and life's important. Just make sure you have a charting program. He was like, you taught me so much, blah, blah, blah. And I was kind of like, at that age, man, I wish there was something like me that I could have glommed onto, hopped onto, and just kind of listened to for free. And there wasn't. There was a bunch of grifters who were out there, and you knew about them, and they were not good to listen to, but it didn't do well. Oh, CLS, Shop, MHO, Uber, and ETH. Okay. And there might be more in this watch list. Wow. I'm going to start opening up some web pages. We've got nuclear going nuclear. Another day, another NVIDIA price target raise. This was an interesting story that Mt. Gox is going to have to unload $9 billion of coins. we're going to go and we're going to open up CHWY, because there should be something on CHWY here. Symbols. CHWY. Yes. Okay. Copy. Paste. And Mount Gox first. Okay, Mount Gox first. CHWY second. Carvana's interesting. That one has taken off. Let me see if my scan of this one's done. Yes. Okay. We're going to go back down and MHO, ETH, PL, BLDR. I probably want to take this one out. Watch list. Let's go to the Dow. I've probably got others that I can include. It was Intel. Let's go to the NASDAQ. NXPI. On Semi. Texas Instruments. Let's go to the S&P. We're going to have a bunch here. Morning, Steph. Morning, T-Dog. Just so you guys are aware, and if I don't make a big enough deal out of it, I am going to be on Twitter Spaces for the first time. I've said, well, I'll save this rant for the podcast, because we're going to open up the podcast now, and we're just going to start recording. Okay, so I've got Carvana. Then we've got AI to spur 15%. We've got the biggest movers. We've got Catalyst Watch for the week. We've got Tesla. A thing about Tesla. We've got Sava plummeting 40%. Interesting about there. I saw a thing about GoDaddy 3 that caught my eye. We can look at this. This is a specialized stock screener that I will include. We've got pretty clear all-time highs are not to be shied away from. Utilities, second best performer. Zero DTE options are interesting because they top stocks in the first half. This is a great list. This is volume was heavy and selling on close on Friday. That's interesting. Let's see. Is this the Steve Grasso thing? No. Here is my portfolio. This is a great. You know what? I'm not going to include that I'll include that in the newsletter. Only in the newsletter. Okay. Go over to the Qs. We saw weakness on Friday. Morning, Laurel. I'm going to hit record. Who stopped outside my house? It's just somebody waiting for neighbor. record. Good morning. It is Monday, July 1st, the first day in July. We're halfway through the year. We'll kind of go over this. I got a ton of stocks. I got a free FinViz screener for you that pulled up 5 names that are interesting. Another day, another NVIDIA price target raise. I've got my portfolio that we'll go over. I did a weekend update just so you guys know. Go and look at it. It's an update year to date of the core portfolio, which is doubling SPY. Core portfolio, 35 names. It's doubling SPY. You want to see it? It's at Savvy Trader. You can go see it. But I did a weekend update on that one. It's on YouTube. It's on all of the major podcast things. But one thing that I do want to tell you, Wednesday, I will be on Spaces for the first time. You can set a reminder. We're going to be talking about Savvy Trader. I've got Wolf Financial, which is one of the leading spaces on Twitter about the market. They host a ton of Twitter spaces. They know I'm killing it on Savvy Trader. They invited me to talk. My plan, so you guys know if you want to set a time to do it. My plan is to huck two of this stuff. I'm going to spit on that thing. That's what I'm going to do. You will see and you will hear a bunch of Hawk Tua references. I get so sick and tired of the boring people on these spaces. I'm going to liven shit up. That's my goal. I'm going to liven shit up, just so you know. There is a new alpha pick out today. A new alpha pick is out today. I do want to point out that there is a special on alpha pick. If you go to that weekend newsletter, there is a link. I'm not putting this in the newsletter, but there is a link. Hold on one second. Why did this go out? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I have a port that went bad in my splitter. So if you go to that weekend newsletter, I will put it in there. It is in there. It's a link. Alpha Picks. You get 30 days of Seeking Alpha Premium for free when you sign up for Alpha Picks. That's the special. Don't worry. In my mind, I would probably sign up for premium membership just by itself so that you get the year with the 20% discount and you sign up for Alpha Picks separately. But if you wanted to give it a try, say you've been on the fence, and again, there's a new pick out there, and I really like the pick, by the way, this time. I think it's set up nicely. I think it's a great one. It's a financial. But yeah, so there is a new Alpha Pick. I will be on Twitter Spaces. Let's see. Qs. We had a weekday on Friday. This is a 0.61% candle in the afternoon. We had a 0.10% candle in the, it's a reverse hammer, and it wasn't good. Where are we in the pre-market? We're up 0.27. You know, there lots of talk about the debate about, is Biden popping out? Who knows? You just got to keep an eye on the candles. What do we have? We have a trending down MACD and an RSI that's going down. It's setting up for a move higher. If we go and look, remember, Qs are 100% for 14 years. What I want to do is even show you the strength in the first 2 weeks of the month. So the third week hasn't been good. The third week hasn't been good for the last 14 years. That's down only 38% of the time. But 67%, again, July first half, the first 15 days of July have been the best 2 weeks trading period since 1928. That's from Steve Grasso on Twitter. It's an interesting one. I will tell you that the Trading Brigade, I watched their YouTube video. I'm not going to link it. It's like an hour every week. It's not bad. They put the ultimate move of QQQ to $525. Where are we right now? $478. They note sellers are not showing up, but a pullback in the first week might be a catalyst to move up further. So understand the first 2 weeks are very, very strong, but we might have a pullback, which might set us up for the second 2 weeks. Either way, I do believe we are in a bull market until we're not. So if you want more of this kind of talk, join me on Spaces. Here is my portfolio. Understand you are midway through the year. If you have Fidelity, you can go into the app and you can look at year to date, and it will give you your 6 months. The S&P is up. Let's see. Let's just look at one of these pictures. The S&P is up 15.29. Okay. My main portfolio is up 12.78. Now, mind you, it's a 7-figure portfolio. So, moving more than the S&P when you get to large portfolios like that is rather difficult because rearranging them and reallocating stuff, it's hard. You have tax events. So understand that your story is just as important as the number. The story that I have is that Apple is underperforming the market. So it's under that 15%. So that 12% isn't horrible in the fact that I have more than 50% of that portfolio in Apple. If we go to my IRA, 17% return, that's beating the S&P. It's not beating the NASDAQ, but it's beating the S&P. So I'm pretty happy because, again, that's a large percent Apple, so I'm better allocated there. My Roth IRA, I'm at 13%. That's hard because I've got SMCI that I purchased in my Roth at $1,000. That's bringing that one down. That's not a 7-figure portfolio yet. That is a 6-figure portfolio. So it's easier to move around. Then I got my health savings account. I outlined all of this on both Twitter and Facebook. So I'm trying to be honest with everybody about exactly where I'm at. My portfolio is not beating the S&P this year. But the story for my portfolio is Apple, which I think is up like 12% or 9%, somewhere in that neighborhood. And the S&P's up 15%. For me to be close to that, I am doing extremely well. With Apple, again, if 50% of my portfolio is at like 9% or 10% gain, and I'm actually at 14 to 17%, the rest of my portfolio is performing at like 20%. That's really good in my book. I'm completely happy with that. So I like that one. I put it out there. How's your portfolio doing? It's a banner half of the year for the stocks. Again, the S&P's up 14%, NASDAQ up 18%, Dow is up 4%. So you pick where you want to go, but understand if you're not looking at your overall portfolio and understanding where you're at year to date and then changing things if it's not working, then you're not allocating stuff. I mean, you're playing a game. You're playing a game. Get out there. Goldman, the first 15 days of July have been the best 2-week period for the S&P since 1928. Again, I pointed out, the first 2 weeks are incredibly performing well. I will be going into TQQQ. Once I find a point to get into TQQQ, I'll put it into Savvy Trader. I'll show you exactly where it's at. Here's the top performers for the first half of 2024. You got Apple, you got Microsoft, you got NVIDIA, you got Google, you got Amazon. Apple is 9.4%. That's pretty damn good. Broadcom, which I own, up 43%. I added to that in March. I think I'm up like 20%. Tesla, minus 20%. MasterCard, only up 3%. United Health, down 3%. We talked about that one being a $500 stock. Exxon, quietly up 15%. Visa, up 0.8%. Walmart, quietly up 28.9%. So again, understand where you're at. This was interesting. 0 DTE options, call options, outnumbers puts for 16 out of the 20 trading days in the month of June. We're in a bull market. That tells me we are in a bull market. Utilities, second best performer among the S&P. If you want this one, it's XLU. It's second best. One that I really like in this list is VST. This is VST. They are a nuclear play. We'll go into that one a little bit later. But yeah, VST is a good one. Pretty clear. This was a great chart. And again, if you're on the newsletter, you'll get this in the newsletter. But this was an absolutely fantastic chart. All-time highs and market floors. If you invested on any day, that's in gray. Okay? You just picked a day and you invested. 3 months, 6 months. Again, this is from January 1st to December 31st. So they just picked random days. If you invested at all-time highs, you actually beat. For 5 years, you actually beat. Do not be afraid of all-time highs at, when we're in a bull market. We're in a bear market, and it's identified that we're in a bear market. The all-time highs aren't really coming, but it's hard there. Understand that charts and fundamentals are both things, and that's what this weekend's newsletter was about. I'm not a value trader. I did 3 stocks. If you go to dailystockpick.substack.com, I did a weekend newsletter, and the weekend newsletter was, hey, here's fundamental data, a free value screener, and 3 stocks to buy now. And I provided a free FinViz screener so that you can find it. And then I used TrendSpider and I used Seeking Alpha to actually look at 3 stocks that came up on this screener. It's a free screener that's in Seeking Alpha. I'm sorry, it's not. The next one I used is in there. But I put that offer in there. I put the podcast in there. It was a weekend newsletter. If you didn't get a chance to read it, go and read it, dailystockpick.substack.com. Now, this was an interesting one. I wanted to take the NASDAQ mega cap, so it's 200 billion or more, that were trading below their 20-day SMA. 3 that caught my eye. There were 5. There's ASML, AstraZeneca, AZN, Pepsi, Qualcomm, and T-Mobile. Now, one of these, Qualcomm, is actually in the core portfolio. And yes, it's trading below, on the daily chart, it's trading below its 20-day SMA. That could be an interesting one. Let's look at the 3 that caught my eye. ASML, this is in the semiconductor space. The semiconductors have killed it. This is in the semiconductor space. They've killed it. It's trading below its 20-day SMA on the daily. If we go and we look at the daily, you can see candles aren't super strong. When you take a look at the weekly on this one, where are we? We're still in an upward trend. You're seeing a nice little double top here. Do you have an opportunity? Well, I'd keep an eye on this one because, again, we're still in an upward trend. It's an interesting one. One that's, again, in the semiconductor space is Qualcomm. Where are we on this one? This one has taken off. I've identified that 193.58 as support level. Boy, look at where it bounced off of. Why did I identify that as support? Because old resistance becomes new support. We take a look at that January 2022, the previous highs. It used it like a champ. Where are you in pre-market? $200.50. This one might be setting up for another move higher. Again, take a look at this one from a fundamental standpoint, but it's an interesting one because these are 3 of the 5 stocks that are trading below their 200-day in the NASDAQ mega cap space. T-Mobile, they're in the communication space. Now this one, I don't cover a lot. I know it's been a super strong player. If you have T-Mobile as your phone service, maybe it's something that you want to look at. But T-Mobile as a whole, I'm not a super fan of. I have Visible as my service, but this one's interesting. I like this one. T-Mobile right here, you can see in the 4-hour algorithm, it's pulled back quite a bit. Pulled back quite a bit. Hold on one second. Why is let me go live here. There we go. Okay, I couldn't see live. I was like, is my screen frozen? I didn't know. Hold on one second. You okay? You want to lay down? I don't want you going under there and getting too heated. It's hot in here. There's no need to be under that blanket. Okay, there you go. Good girl. Penny, don't take the blanket off of her. Oh, okay. There you go. Okay? I'm going to make sure that the air is on. Hold on. good. Those 2 ports on there may not be working. Morning, D-Man. Larry. Morning, Patty. Morning, Mark. Okay. I had to stop. I had the dogs interrupt me. I also thought that my screen was frozen. But here, T-Mobile. I don't trade this one. I don't know the chart very well. But when we look at the weekly on this one, it has seen a breakout. And we've seen it top that double top. That resistance level, 152, has broken out. Now, your MACD is a little bit high. Your RSI is a little bit high. But again, if these are just ideas. One that came up as a possible one from YouTube that I looked at is GoDaddy. This one's interesting. It's kind of in the middle of a breakout. But what's interesting is during this time when the MACD was way up here and you got out with an 8% gain in the 4-hour, the MACD reset itself down to the oscillator and the RSI's in no man's land at 53. But when we go and we look at the weekly, look at this takeoff since the past couple of earnings and look at the week before last. Look at the volume in this one. And so this is an interesting one. You know, you go over here and you go to GDDY. And I think somebody asked me about this one a few weeks ago or something. And I said, it doesn't seem crazy to me. It's a strong buy in the quant. But again, they're putting, if it holds 140 is what they're saying, it might go for another leg up. And if we look at this one, it's not crazy. The valuation is not nuts. It's got a low PE at 9.54. The PEG ratio, well below the sector. Growth, 4.9% versus the sector growing at 3.4. EBITDA growth year over year, they're making more money. That's an interesting one. Profitability, it's an A plus, 62% margins. This one might be an interesting one. Again, GoDaddy, GDDY. I thought that was interesting. But yeah, you'll get that free stock screener from FinViz in the newsletter. Cassava Sciences plunges 40% after Simufilm researcher indicted on fraud charges. This happened on Friday. I thought this was interesting. And I wanted to bring it up because it was down 40%, SAVA. And when I read through this, I said, why would I want to invest in this? Then I went down in Seeking Alpha to these comments. This is the playbook used by shorts. The truth is the enemy. It's a game, not investing. And then there was a lot of investment group and expert from premium folks who are say they're experts in this stuff. And you take a look at it. And a lot of these people are saying, again, an overreaction in the market is an overreaction. Any reaction. 40% because of fraud indictment of a consultant who helped work while for a drug company that has since gone through trials and they succeeded in the trials. That's the point. They succeeded in the trials. Now, I don't think that again, this is just me. This one is one you want to wait for it to gain some type of confirmation. When you look at this one, it is down 20% in the pre-market. But what they are saying is that it's already gone through its pre-trials. So this one might be an opportunity to get at a discount because this guy getting indicted doesn't mean that the drug is bad. Now, here's the weekly. Where do I think this one's going? I think you're probably getting down to this $5 range. Again, this was before. That gap up is when they succeeded in the trials. And this is part of why I don't like biopharma. And I'm not investing in this one. Full disclosure, I am not getting into this one. But it's an interesting one to try and trade. Why do you want to trade it? Well, the volatility is going to be huge. That news came out. It was down 40%. And you're down another 20% today, down to $10. It's trading at 10.06. I think you might be down another 50% at $5. I think that's where you want to look at this one. But I do think that those comments down in that section, again, if I were somebody who wanted to play this one, I would go down to those comments, read those comments, do a little bit of research, and then make your decision. But I thought it was interesting because, again, any reaction in the market is an overreaction. I think that's exactly what this is. Now, this week, we're going to go to the catalyst of this week, but this is interesting. Tesla China says they hit a new record, a new high in deliveries. To be clear, Tesla China is just referring to sales in China in the month of June, not the company overall. This could be interesting. I mean, again, this is Tesla that has come back and it's holding 200. Today, it's at $200.81. We talked about the support levels. This 139 was the previous low back down here in April 22nd of this year. And then you've kind of bumped up against this 200. 200 is your resistance until it becomes support. They will report deliveries this week. That's going to be what either pushes this one way up or pulls it way down. Right now, the algorithm has you in at 183. The algorithm's something to listen to because the algorithm over 2 years, 24 and a half months, 135% return. What do you get if you bought 24 and a half months ago? You've lost 14%. Your average win is 17%. Again, you're looking at some of this. It was putting in a nice floor. The valuation on Tesla is crazy. It doesn't trade on valuation. I went over, again, 17% gross margin, 17%. The sector's 37%. That doesn't include GM. That doesn't include, Ford. It's in consumer discretionary. It's not considered a car company. And that's part of the issue with Tesla. If this were a car company, that actual PE would be about 4, just to give you an idea. The profitability, even though it's 38% and it's an A plus, it's 17%. That gross margin on GM is like 7. So it's not a car company. This is a tech company. That's what it's trading at. But it could move. And again, this week with deliveries, it's either going to use this 198, say 200, as a support or a resistance. And it's going to pull back if they don't hit it. But this particular tweet was interesting. All-time high sales in China. China kind of runs this company. I mean, let's be honest. China is where the EV market is strong. Here in the U.S., it's not so strong. So let's look at some catalysts for this week. On Monday, you got volatility watch all week. You got key data reports. Tesla, I think NIO and XPE have already reported. They're up. Rivian's going to report their deliveries. FTC to hold a closed-door meeting. Tuesday, you've got some MSC and Polestar actually reports earnings. All day, notable investor events, Box and Snowflake. Snowflake's interesting. We talked about it last week. Could this one, by the way, Shea Boular is going to be on that Spaces with me. He's a huge fan of Snowflake. Look at how it's popped, just in that 4-hour window. Now, if we go to the weekly, we can look at our trading range. Boy, doesn't it look like it bounced off that trading range of 128? Doesn't it look like it bounced off there? Didn't time the bottom, but it looks like it bounced off there. Now, if we go in the 4-hour, are we in or are we out? Right now, it has you in at 130. You're trading at 135. In pre-market, it's at 138. So, again, understand, I think that this one has a nice move up to 200 with hype. As this one goes along, it is not cheap. It is expensive. But they're going to have a catalyst watch for tomorrow because they're having annual meeting. So it might, all day, 4-year anniversary of Lemonade IPO. Stock traders, I wouldn't get into Lemonade, but you can trade it all you want. Wednesday, we have earnings from Constellation Brands, STZ. I use Earnings Hub to take a look at all that stuff. And then Friday, the big thing this week is going to be Friday. We get the U.S. jobs report for the month of June. So that's going to be an enormous jobs report because again, we're talking about the election and stuff. The biggest movers of today, we'll go over CHWY, but Spiro Air Systems soared 8% after Boeing announced it would acquire the company at $37.25 per share. If you want to make some money, again, if you want $35.27, if they are going to allow this to go through, then you've got the upside. You're trading at $34.25, so you've got about $1 here. $1. Maybe not bad to put, $100 in here, just to see if it goes through. You do have the bad portion where it may trade down to 30. But it's not, that's not a bad one to try and put some money into that you're not using. This isn't a guarantee because, again, this is going to trade below 35.27 for the next 6 months, a year. I don't know. I didn't look at how much they're looking to get out of it. But there's another couple of movers that you can see in here. CHWY, Lee's Auto is moving. Neo is moving. Online pet retailer CHWY jumped 25% after Keith Gill. This is GameStop. We'll go over this one in a little bit. A couple stories later. AI to help spur 15% additional gain in tech stocks in the second half. This is Dan Ives. And he's going over exactly what I talk about. We're in an AI and a GLP-1 market. Wedbush's top stock picks for the second half: Apple, Alphabet, Palantir, PanW, and CrowdStrike, both of them. Zscaler, additional, Salesforce, MongoDB. Salesforce is one that probably will come back. It looks like, and I just say this, it looks like any reaction was an overreaction and we're going to get a gap fill in Salesforce. It has already started. The algorithm got you in here at 242, and the gap fill will be up to 272. Looks like we're going to get it. Salesforce is not one that's going to stay out of this one. It's going to be interesting. There's another interesting one, Carvana. With fundamentals returning to year-over-year growth and weekly chart preparing for its first golden cross, things could get spicy. The first golden cross on a weekly chart of Carvana. This one is nuts. I say it again. I don't think this is one that you want to get into. The valuation is crazy. They are paying a ton of money for the ability to put an effing giant-sized coin into a vending machine and have your car delivered. It makes no sense to me. They paid me top dollar for my Tesla. Now, they sold it for quite a bit more because it was a fantastic, just immaculately kept car. It was great. I mean, it was great, but I probably could have sold it for more on my own, but they paid me top dollar. I know other people, they're paying top dollar. You look at this weekly, and we are looking at, again, the 200-day as resistance here at 133. You've seen it. Back here in April, it used it as resistance. Here you can see it used it as resistance again until it just fell. Now, that 50-day is moving quite a bit. You're trading on the top of the Bollinger Bands. Like this one says on the weekly chart, with fundamentals returning year-over-year growth, the weekly chart preparing for its first ever golden cross. What would the golden cross mean? It would mean that blue line crosses that red line. That could get spicy. And again, if you look at the all-time highs here, $320, I think that's nuts. That's absolutely crazy. If we look at Carvana here in Seeking Alpha and we go to the summary, you will see that I think it's overvalued. I think the valuation is crazy for this one. It's an F. The growth is a C-. It is a hold across the board. If we go to Wall Street and we look at 21 analysts in the last 90 days, 15% downside to their target of 109. So I don't think it's an opportunity, but understand sometimes momentum has a crazy way of doing things in stocks. So if you want to put money in there, yeah. Bitcoin could get interesting. Peter Thiel said last week he thought it hit a top, but Mt. Gox is about to unload $9 billion of coin onto the market. It slid to $59,000 on Friday. It is up today. If we go and look at Bitcoin, I think it's up like 4% or something today, the last time I looked at it. If we go here, this is what I want to see. Bitcoin to US dollar, it is up 1.74% at 62,000. If you look at the year to date, it is up 42%. This is just blowing away anything that is in the market. Well, other than NVIDIA, but again, continues to fall on a weekly basis as spot Bitcoin ETFs demand cools. Again, the ETFs are cooling. What will this do to when they put $9 billion of coins on the market? It's interesting. Meme and highly shorted stocks are on watch after Roaring Kitty discloses a stake in CHWY. 6.6%. He bought 9 million shares of CHWY. Now, what's CHWY doing? We can look at CHWY. In the pre-market, it was up 20% or something. It is up 11% now. This is one that you want to trade on a tight time frame. And we talked about this one. We talked about it is at $30.46. If we look at this one in the pre-market and we just go a 5 minute and we look at this, That was when this stuff was disclosed right here. Now the Bollinger Bands were as tight as they could be at 4:30 on Friday, down at 27. They were as tight as they could be. Did you want to get into this one? Maybe. I mean, this one popped all the way up to 34. It's at $30 right now. Now, the algorithm makes you 9%. If you bought this one, you're still down 24%. I said it before. The algorithm got you in here at $15.66. Remember, you can get this 4-hour algorithm. You can take emotions out of your trade. It's the July 4th Independence Day sale on TrendSpider. $50 a month, or just for $5 a month more, go up to Enhanced. Enhanced gets you more active windows, more simultaneous alerts, 90-day lifetime, 30 trading bots that you can use, all of this stuff. And if you're new to trading, I would tell you probably to get this advanced platform. The reason why, it comes with unlimited one-on-one training for the platform. And again, you have enough issues to actually learn fundamentals and to learn the fundamentals of actual charting and technical. Learn that, and then go to a one-on-one trading and say, hey, I wanted to learn how to set up this strategy. That's it. What do you get when you sign up through me? You get the 4-hour strategy. You can go to a one-on-one trading with a TrendSpider expert and say, hey, how would I optimize this for this stock? How would I do that? And again, that's $82 a month. So pick your poison on this one. What you're going to do is you're going to go to Linktree, linktr.ee/daily stock pick. The link is down below. And then you're going to go to TrendSpider right here. It's the top one. And you're going to click on that, and it's going to take you to the pricing. You sign up, and then you go back to the Linktree, and my email address is up here in the upper right. And just email me, and I will email you back. It is a very simple process where you just import everything. That's it. That's it. Now, another day, another NVIDIA price target raise. This one, they raised it from 116 to 144. It's down in pre-market at 123. It can't catch a break. If you take a look at this one, it is down at 123. It's putting in that floor. It's putting in that support level right there at 122. Algorithm had you out on a Friday at 48% gain. Now, the MACD's super low. May not get you back in for a little bit. I would argue this is a good place to add. The reason why, I don't think that it's valued crazily. And this article goes over it. It goes over that their earnings will probably make the only thing that's going to take this one down is Taiwan being invaded from China. So that's the issue. If you look at it, strong buy from Wall Street, it's a hold on the quant, and it's because of the valuation. But the valuation is the current valuation. When you add in the expected growth on this, the PEG ratio, that's where you get to it trading at a discount. And again, if you want Seeking Alpha Premium, you can go and you can select the metrics on this, and we can go to performance, we can go to profitability. Let's go to valuation, and let's go to PE. And we're going to price the PE back here. And the reason we're going to price the PE, we're going to take out the S&P, is because it's gotten cheaper. Let's go to 5 years. There's the PE in 2023. You're trading for this one where it was trading in 2022. Let's go back to 8/8/22, okay? Let's go to a weekly, and let's go to August 2022 where it was trading. Here's August 2022. You were trading at 16. You're buying it at the same PE that you paid for at $16. Now, that doesn't mean it's incredibly expensive. It means that if they continue their growth pattern, and again, that's a little crazy to think about because they've grown so much. But if they continue at their growth perspective, then we take this, let's just say it was here at the high at 19, okay? If they continue their growth pattern, that's a 557% gain over 1 year and 10 months. Simple. It's simple. You know, you put $1,000 in there, you've made $5,000. I am not saying that that's where this is going because it's stretched. The valuation in this company is crazy. There are many smart people who are cutting this one just because it's gone up so far so fast. But again, if you're trading on the PE, you're trading at that one. Tech industry targets nuclear power for AI data centers' electricity needs. That is VST. I talked about it earlier today. VST is the one that I think is a good one. Constellation Energy, right here, CEG. You got Amazon. You got PEG, which is another public service utility. And you have PDD, which is PDD Holdings. So, this article brings it all out. It's a good article. I like this one. You can read it. You can go look at the charts. Social request. Brian from Virginia on Spotify asked me, your opinion swapped out. He swapped out XBI and NTLA and got Oscar for Lily and LRCX trading up. Oscar is one. That's my health insurance company. And I got to tell you, I should have, rather than paying them the fee for insurance, I should have just been investing in the stock. But this one has had a pullback. It has had a pullback. I mean, the algorithm has not worked out in the past couple of times. You had a $20 gain here. I do think that $23 is resistance. Now, if we go over here to, let's look at some of the valuation of Oscar, because the valuation is going to be important. If we go and we look at this Oscar, it's a strong buy in the quant. The valuation's not crazy. The growth A+, profitability B-. This is not a bad one. Again, if you look at the Wall Street analysts, there's only 6 analysts. Take it with a grain of salt. Their average price target, $25, 60% upside. Now take a look. It was chasing, and now it's gone down. Is this something that you want to get into? Take a look at some of the analysts that might cover a little bit better. Managed care poised for long-term growth despite recent headwinds from Baird. That was on May 30th. There's not a lot of news on this one. It's just pulling back based on it going up so much. This is what NVIDIA should be doing. But this is ranked number 1 in the quant in the industry, in life and health sciences. So I like it. It has been a strong buy since it was $22, on the quant, and you're getting it at $15.17. And look, it was a strong buy, and some of these metrics were C-. So it's gotten better. It's gotten cheaper. When's their next earnings call coming up? Probably sometime in August, I think, probably. But yeah, it has shown weakness. Buy it on strength. Honestly, what I would do if you're looking to swap this one out, if this is long-term, add to it sparingly. Add to it like I'm adding Amazon. I'm adding Amazon sparingly, but add to that one a little bit. Let's see, for Lily and SRCX trading up. I don't know what you're asking, but let's look at LRA. This is Lam Research. This is another semiconductor. You're fine in this one. I mean, you're fine. Look at that 957, and you're up at 10,000. This is fine. This is fine. XBI is, what's XBI? I don't even know what XBI is. Oh, that's the biotech ETF. XBI, yeah. I mean, the problem, I don't mind you having XBI. Just understand, even the XBI is going to have some volatility to it. But I'd rather have you XBLI than anything else. Oscar, trade out XBLI, NTLA, and Oscar for Lily. Oh, you traded out all 3 of those for Lily? I think you're brilliant. Yeah, I think you're brilliant. Yeah, I think that is the move to make. Lily, it's $1,000 stock. I mean, I can't see a time when Lily is actually going to underperform. It's GLP-1. Now, this one has been a hold in the quant, and the reason is the valuation. Do not worry about the valuation. This is a $1 billion stock. The PEG going forward is 7% below the industry, and this should be trading at the largest one. When you look at growth, what are they doing? 29% revenue year over year. That's crazy in a company this big. I think you're brilliant. William Morgan. Hey, Gary, thinking about finally making the switch from Unusual Whales to TrendSpider. Do you know if they have daily option premiums in TrendSpider? Maybe I'll do the trial to find out. I don't know that there's a trial in TrendSpider. You can do a month. You can pay for it monthly. There is a monthly. I don't think that you get the sale, but you can pay for it monthly. You might miss out on the sale. And I don't know. What I can tell you is that if you just email TrendSpider, they absolutely will tell you that, message Jason on Twitter, message TrendSpider on Twitter. They will actually get back to you. You can message them on email, whatever you want. The only thing that I know about options is this, what's happening now. You can look at unusual options. Like there was an unusually large SPY put call at 490 bought on expiration date, June 25th. That's an unusual one. I know they have analyst estimates. I know they have other filters that you can add a feed to. You can do, let's see, SPY, unusual speech, large outside of the options, blah, blah, blah. You can do some of the Pelosi tracker. You can do all of that. Other templates, all unusual options, any insider buy, CFO buying, 10% owner selling, all analyst estimates. This is all the news feed that you can put into your charts. And that's what's nice about this one is I think it's an all-around platform. I don't use half the stuff that this TrendSpider can do. And the reason I don't use half of it, it's not because it's useless. It's not because it doesn't give you a benefit or something that you can trade with. It's because I don't want to clutter my brain. That's it. It's as simple as that. I just don't want to clutter my brain. And so when you look at something like Lily, the 4-hour algorithm tells me to get in at 735, and I see that it's performing almost as well as buy and hold. I'm going to get in at 735. I have a 50% win rate on this one. I'm going to say, you know what? I might as well get in at 735. And we're not only up at 22%, we've continued up. This is a 25% gain right here in 63 days. That's what the 4-hour algorithm gets you. So, William, I don't know. I don't want to lead you down the wrong path. But what I would do is ask TrendSpider on their Twitter feed, and you can do it with Unusual Whales. You can say, hey, Unusual Whales, what do I get with you that I don't get with TrendSpider? And pit them against each other. See if they respond. But I think Unusual Whales actually is a TrendSpider subscriber. I think that one of those guys is. I don't know if they use TradingView or TrendSpider, but I think Unusual Whales is. Let's go to scans, because some of the scans, Uber is down 1%. Do you want to get into this one? This one has had a crazy good run. I've said it before. It's getting back to 80. Do you want to get back in? It's down 1%. It is using the 200-day on this 4-hour as resistance. You can see how here, May 7th, how we had a nice pop up. It used it as resistance. It couldn't hold the 200-day. That you can see right here on June 12th, we used it as resistance. We couldn't hold it. You can see we popped up on Friday. We couldn't hold it. So do you want to get into this one? I would say Uber is a great buy, long-term buy and hold. It will be $80. Go over to Seeking Alpha and we go to Uber and we can look at the Wall Street analysts, what they think about it. We can look at Wall Street. Their price target, $87. That's 20% upside. The valuation is a little bit stretched, but the peg, they will continue to grow. Look at the growth, 14%. The sector's growing at 4%. It's a little bit expensive. That's all you have to really rely. The revisions, this was after their last earnings call. I don't think that these revisions are realistic. I think they're going to continue to blow it away. But that's the issue that you have is if the growth has been capped and Lyft is actually gaining on them, then Lyft might be the better buy. I own Uber. Palantir, we talked about this one being a $25 stock. So far, it seems to be holding 25. I don't want to claim victory just yet, but you can see last week we crossed the 25. You could have sold here at 25, and I told you to sell. Once we hit 25, I told you to sell. You could have bought back here down here at 23. Now you've got a purchase price at 23. And again, 25, we seem to be holding. It's trading up 1.75%. Shopify is down 1%. This one can't freaking catch a break. Now, why do I think that Shopify is an $80 stock? When you go to the weekly, you can clearly see we've used that 200-day as resistance. One time, and that was a previous high. We used it as resistance. We couldn't hold it. I think we get back there again. I think we do. I think this is just a stock that's going to move. The MACD looks like it's about to cross up, but you're down 1%. I've bought this one and I've held it for a long time. I think my average purchase price is about $68. So it's a little bit higher than where we're at today. Am I adding more? Probably not. I mean, I've probably added enough. So Shopify, Wells Fargo. This is one that I own. All the banks got stress tests on Friday. They went back. They're fine. Blah, blah, blah. You know, banks are fine. They've raised all of their stuff. Banks are using their 200-day as support. Not as resistance. They're using it as support. They're going to bounce off there. Wells Fargo at 59. You can see that 59.05. You're at 59.90. You're nicely up. Now, a couple of them in the watch list that came up. CLS. Celestica. I'm not sure exactly how you say it. 57.35 on Friday. That one got you out with a 3% loss. The algorithm makes you 317% over 24 months. Okay, 24 months, 23 positions. Doesn't get you in but once a month. Just had 19% gain, got you out with a 3% loss. But if you bought that 56, you're still in the positive territory. This one gets you in at 57.35. Is this one crazy? We go over to Seeking Alpha. Again, this is how you use these two tools in conjunction. Go over to Seeking Alpha and you look at the quant. 4.98. That's out of 5. That's as strong as you can get. The valuation is the only issue that you have. And the valuation price to book. And that's it. When we go to Wall Street, what's the price target from Wall Street? 55. It's a 3% downside. But, there's only 9 analysts that cover this damn thing. So you can see how they chased it up. They've completely chased it up. But this is electrical manufacturing. This is a good stock to own. MHO, this is an alpha pick. I think both of these are alpha picks, to be honest with you. I don't know when they were picked. But this is an alpha pick. We talked about this range back here. This range being the range that you wanted to trade it in. Boy, at 113, that was great. At 122, even better. I mean, the MACD is low. It's crossing up. At some point in time, we get a breakout of that stock. And we haven't seen a breakout since December 2023. This entire year, this has just traded to the side. Now, BLDR is one that I have in the watch list. Just complete disclosure, I may take this out of the watch list. I sold out of this completely. There is no real strength in this one. It is down 0.28. I have been watching all weekend about how the housing market in Florida, how inventory levels may cause the housing market to crash. If that happens, BLDR, which is the new home builders, and again, the new home builders aren't building homes. This one was up based on some lumber prices going up. If you look at this one on a weekly basis, you can see it's extended. We're probably coming down to the 200-day at 87. You're probably coming down. I would say the first level of support is probably this 103 on the weekly. But you can see the Bollinger Band cinched up. That's where I sold. I think I sold it like 150, 160, somewhere in that neighborhood. So the Bollinger Band cinched up. We were on the bottom of the 9-day. The 9-day's moving negative. I said, I'm out. So I may take it out of the core portfolio, the watch list. INTC, Intel. This is one. Is this one finally going to get a bounce up here? I'm not trusting it. 3108. I'm not trusting this at all. The valuation on Intel is still crazy. They don't have any growth possibility. If you want to invest in a semi name, I would invest in NVIDIA, and I would just buy and hold it. That's all I did. And by the way, CHWY is now down to only $28. It has come down completely. Again, that's a pop, and GameStop is even worse. There's a couple of other ones, Bitcoin and crypto. There's a couple of ones. Leveraged ETFs, we got that, and low-cost Vanguard. So, couple sales going on. Again, July 4th sale for TrendSpider. You want to sign up for that one because you're never going to save this amount of money. It is unbelievable. Again, 50% off, 6 months free. It's crazy. And the unlimited one-on-one. If you want to sign up, I think today may be the last day or maybe through this week. I'm not sure. But it's on the, if you go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com, at Daily Stock Pick, and we're just going to go over here. It is the Friday video. Let's see, is this going to pull up my actual page here? Because it is the videos, the portfolio doubled the S&P. It's that video right here. And that one has the link for, or the Daily Stock Pick newsletter on the weekend. Both of them have the link here to get you to this page. It's not that page, it's this page. And you get 30 days of Seeking Alpha Premium for free. Now, if you just want Seeking Alpha Premium, which I would suggest you get, the difference between Alpha Picks is just 2 names per month. And they came out with one today and one on the 15th. So it's spoon feeding you. Now, they give you the full analysis of those names, and it's a great analysis. They tell you why they picked it, why it's a strong buy on the quant. And then you can look at TrendSpider or any charting program that you want, and you can take a look at the chart to see if you want to buy it. That's the way I use Alpha Picks. I use it as an idea generation tool. You can use it to get into the entire portfolio. The entire portfolio is unbelievable, 121% versus 43% on the thing. How does it work? They select it, they risk it, they tell you when to sell. So, and why premium? Professional grade tools, quant ratings. You get quant ratings. The professional one, Seeking Alpha Premium, this is what you want Seeking Alpha Premium for. Unlimited analysis of all the stocks, any stock that you want to put in. There's a ton of stocks, including over 1,000 stocks that Wall Street doesn't cover. You get the quant rating. We talked about the quant ratings. We talked about those 5 categories. You get those ratings for every stock that they cover. And it's a really, really good program. So again, between the two, I use Alpha Picks as an idea generation. I use Seeking Alpha Premium as my main source of, I found this stock. Let me go look at it. That's the difference. So if you want any of those, again, their sales are going on this week. Just FYI, tomorrow, I may be on late if you're joining live, or I may be on early. I'm not sure. I have a doctor's appointment in the morning at like 8:30, so I may be on super, super early. I may also just do the podcast this afternoon and schedule it for tomorrow morning. So either way, I'll let you know. I'll put it in the newsletter, or I'll send out an alert on the Facebook group. If you want to join the Facebook group or any of the social programs, they're all up here. You've got Substack up there. You've got YouTube. You've got if you make money, I ask you to just tip me. X, you've got or Twitter, tomato. Spotify. You've got Apple Podcast, the private Facebook group. You got Instagram. You have Threads. You have email. You can get in touch with me anywhere you want. So, okay, that's it. I'll talk to you. See you tomorrow. Bye. Oh, boy. Okay, I got to go edit this together. You know what? I'll be right back. I got to go throw stuff in the dryer. I am not back in TQQ, Patty. Not yet. And the reason is QQQ is down 0.27. So if we take a look at TQQQ, I want to let things shake out a little bit. And so when I go and I look at my 65-minute algorithm, and I look at this one because I do want to get in for the month, I saw that it was out on Friday. And so I wanted to let it shake out a little bit. We've since opened up, and this is this morning's candle at 9:30, and we have weakness. So again, I want to add to it on a short-term basis, a shorter term. I'm kind of, with TQQQ, I'll trade that one with some safety in July, but I don't want to add it until I'm sure that it's going to be like a solid one. So I'm taking it a little bit slowly, if you will. I'm not... I will be back in it, but... what are these screenshots of? Oh, okay, quit. And that is of that. Okay. What's the screenshot of? Oh, there we go. Okay. This screenshot. I'm going to get rid of that. Move to trash. But I will get into TQQQ. Move to trash. Then we're going to highlight these. Share. AirDrop. MacBook Pro. Wow, market's really tanking. I was way up. Something happened. Something happened to the markets, because when you take a look at even TQQQ, look at that. I mean, this is the start of the day where we wound up going well, and then you've tanked. And there's quite a bit of green. I mean, I'm up, looks like 5,000. Yeah, I'm up. But wow, Goldman Sachs is up almost 2%. Boeing is up almost 3%. We're going to go to the 4 hour. Okay, let's say we received 3 videos, and I've got to go to iMovie. Oh, did I screw this up? Yeah, I guess I did. Stale. Want to make it these? I'm editing this. Okay. Take that out. Take that out. And then 850. And then 853. Did he say something, that douchebag? I mean, NVIDIA even broke down to 119. It broke down below that support level. Next support's 115. That's one that adding to isn't, again, it's not crazy. Yeah, I don't think that one's nuts at all. Okay, let's see. We're going to colorize. Copy. And then we're going to edit. Paste adjustments. There we go. Alpha pick. If you go to that weekend newsletter, there is a link. I'm not putting this in the newsletter. So go to this weekend newsletter. There is a link. I'm not putting this in the newsletter. So if you go to that weekend newsletter, I will put it in there. It is in there. I'm not putting this in the newsletter. It's a link. Alpha Picks. You get 30 days of Seeking Alpha Premium for free when you sign up for Alpha Picks. That's the special mobile. They're in the communication space. Now this one, I don't cover a lot. I know it's been a super strong player. If you have T-Mobile as your phone service, maybe it's something that you want to look at. But T-Mobile, it's pulled back quite a bit. Pulled back quite a bit. Quite a bit. I had to stop. I had the dogs interrupt me. I also thought that my screen was frozen. But here, T-Mobile. I don't. Algorithm. It's pulled back quite a bit. I don't trade this one. I don't know the chart very well, but when. Okay. There we go. We'll put in some of these to remind people to subscribe. And we'll export. Export file. 7.1 pod. Save. It looks like it's coming back a little bit. I don't know if that Supreme Court decision. I don't know if anything came out on the Supreme Court or not. We got a little bit of a green candle here on the 5-minute. Let's see if the strategy would have you in. Algorithm just made you a 0.5% and it got you out. Oh, look at that. Got you out right there. Whew. Put laundry in the dryer. Okay, I'm out of here. I think I've been on for long enough. It's 10 o'clock. I will talk to you guys later tomorrow.